And welcome to episode number 48. 48. Yeah, we've done this 48 times now. 48 of Shots Fired, the podcast that breaks down when shootings happen in America that are of note. And today, my my special co-star, my guest, who's sitting in the chair that is normally reserved for Dine to Death Milberg, is R.W. Higgins.
That would explain why this chair is very big.
Yes, he's a big boy.
He's a good-sized man.
He's a big boy.
He is a huge boy.
So R.W. is, you know him as Mr. Shush from Wit Machine, all right, everybody? This is where we insert the audience applause.
Yes.
So today what we're going to be talking about is, and I know that you've been traveling, so you haven't been watching the news, but you got up on this story. The two Los Angeles County sheriff's deputies that were ambushed in their car and shot multiple times in the face and upper body by an assailant that is still at large.
The thing about this that gets me is, the assailant, mag dumps into the car. Perfect Iraqi accuracy.
Yeah.
Gets him a punch, but they're amazingly up and mobile, ambulatory, self-medicating. You know, you got the female officer that keeps her wits about her, just keeps her head on a swivel like she's supposed to do.
Yep, I've got video of that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
You know, so this happened a couple days ago, and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has issued a $100,000 reward for information that leads to the capture of the shooter. A lot of people are thinking it's probably BLM or protest related. The real story here, though, is there's three things that we need to take away from this. Number one, police officers, which I used to be one, need to watch this video ad nauseum and realize that there is never a time when you're in your patrol car, when you're in the bullet magnet, that you can be complacent. You know, you have to have situational awareness and red level situational awareness at all times, especially when you're just sitting in your patrol car on the side of the street or in an alley or in a parking lot or whatever. And that's really hard to do.
Of course it is. There's a lot of times you're on you're pulling a double.
Yep.
And it's your fourth double of the week, and you're like, I'm just gonna pull up behind this, and I'm gonna turn my radio up real loud so I don't miss nothing, and I'm gonna try and catch some Z's.
Yeah.
And that's, you called it a bullet magnet.
Yeah.
That's what a car is.
Right.
I mean, if it's not moving, and whether it's immobilized or you've put it in park, you've stopped that thing on the park brake, it's terrain.
Yeah.
Pay attention. When you're walking around, you're looking around. When you're standing still, you're looking around. That vehicle is standing still. Turn your fucking head.
It's exhausting as a law enforcement officer, especially in today's age, to maintain a level red situational awareness all fucking day long and in every situation, because an ambush is just that. You know, where did
that come from?
They sneak up from you. You're not expecting it, and you really need to be watching your mirrors. You need to have your head on a swivel. And this person. So the video that's out there, this guy he walks up. There's nobody on the street. He's walking down the middle of the street towards the police car. The police car is pointed in the other direction, and he just walks up, draws his weapon, mag dumps at point blank through the passenger window into the car, striking both officers multiple times in the face, upper body, arm, chest, things like that.
Yeah, all upper body hits, face and arms, face and chest, face and...
Yep. Overwhelming violence of action caught them off guard. They weren't ready for it. And so you see him run away, theoretically to a waiting vehicle to escape, and you see the passenger officer. I'm not sure which officer was in the driver's side, whether it was the female officer or the male officer. Yeah. But you see the passenger door swing open, and the officer tries to get out and address the threat, but obviously they've been so critically wounded, and at that point the bad guy is in full retreat. And then so another video popped up afterwards that's really shocking. Now this video I'm going to put up on the screen. This is on North American Rescue's page. This video, let's watch this. This is how to stay in the fight, because you never know when they're going to come back, or
Right.
And this female officer, she's been shot in the mouth twice. Her jaw is hanging on. Her teeth are knocked out. She's got blood pouring out of her. And she has her wits about her, keeps situational awareness. She's looking for threats, and she takes out her, her tourniquet. Thank God, officers are now carrying tourniquets. 3 or 4 years ago, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And she gets the tourniquet on her partner, and now they're both still in the hospital, reportedly in critical. But let's take a
morgue.
Let's take a look at this video real quick. There's no sound to it. So for those of you that are listening to the podcast, she is trying to put the tourniquet. They're behind hard cover. I would assume in some sort of gangway or something adjacent to where the vehicle was shot. And she's getting the tourniquet on her partner. She's looking behind her. She's looking to the right. She's looking to the left. And she is, she's rendering aid while making sure that the bad guys aren't coming back to finish the job. And so I think we need to commend this female officer for that. And these were not seasoned veterans. Both of these officers, I believe, had been on the force for 15 months. Ooh. So just not even a year and a half yet. And this is how fast it happens. So the number one thing I want you to take away, if you're a first responder, if you're a law enforcement officer, it doesn't matter what's going on in society today. You should always be at level red. You should be just, Jason Bourne, always looking in the mirrors, always looking over your shoulder, looking in the reflections of the building next to you, trying to make sure that there's no threats coming at you, because this is how fast it can happen. It's over in seconds. This violent encounter happened within 7 feet, as do most police officer involved shootings. It was probably over in 4 seconds, and 2 officers are critically wounded.
I can't stop watching this video. This is normally I like looking at your face because it's a pretty mug, but I am lost in this. The level of dedication to each other, to their partners right here is, This is paramount.
Absolutely.
They're both watching everything. They're applying it as best they can. They're doing the best they can in this absolutely shit-tastic situation. And you're right. We're in a time where society has been weaponized against law enforcement.
Yep.
We're in a society right now we're in a time when society has been taught that the cops are going to kill you no matter what happens. Whether it's true or not, that's what they're being fed ad nauseum. And this is what happens when we don't turn our head around. This is what happens when we don't look at the totality of where we are. It's just...
Here's the actual video of the suspect running.
I have not seen this, so I definitely want to...
So let me click play on this one. So you see him, he walks up, bang, 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 and he's off running. It's over. And the car door opens, and they try to address the threat, but at that point, he's... a block away.
That dude's running like he stole them shoes.
The second thing that I want to address in this podcast is the way the mostly peaceful protesters addressed this when it happened. So this happened at night, and these officers were taken to the Los Angeles County Hospital, and protesters showed up at the hospital chanting, "We hope they die. We hope they die."
When in history have we witnessed anything like that, where people roll nobody does that at pedophile sentencing hearings? No, you don't hear where people roll up to the courthouse and they're like, let them hang. Politicians that need to be tarred and feathered. Nope, nobody's there. Everybody's like, oh, well, that really sucks. We just won't reelect them. But here's 2 law enforcement agents that have taken an oath to do their best, whether they're good people or not. They've taken an oath to do their best. And here they are ambushed, and people are literally outside screaming, let them die.
We hope you die.
That's right up there with some evil, your mama didn't raise you right horse shit.
Then on top of that, recently in the news, it came out that BLM protesters have equated this. They're applauding the shooter, saying, "Good shoot." This is some of the tweets that were happening. Great shoot, good shoot. Hope they die. And now the protesters Antifa have compared this to an ISIS level attack, and that they're applauding it as, this is an ISIS level attack. I heard a rumor the other day that some Antifa in America have actually been sent over to Syria to fight with the YLM or whatever in Syria, to get training on insurgency and violence of action and tactics, ambush tactics and things like that. What a lot of people aren't doing right now is realizing what's happening. The left has militarized themselves, and they are planning an all-out insurgency should Trump win this election, and it's already beginning. It's already beginning. This is just the beginning. You're going to see more officer shootings. I called it a couple of years ago. I think you'll see car bombs targeting officers the same way IEDs target Marines and Army forces in Iraq and Afghanistan.
People last year, how many police cars in and out of New York were stopped? People threw pipe bombs underneath the cruiser. Yep. Do you remember that? I think there was 3 cases of it last year. One of them, a van rolled up, threw a bomb under the police car, and it rolled forward of the police car, and the officers actually recognized what happened and drove their vehicle over it.
Here, I've actually got a video here of the protest. Whoop, I can't go full screen. Video out here of the protest at the hospital. Let's see what this is. Nope, can't click it there. I gotta click it here. Oh, we gotta watch a commercial. We can't watch a commercial. We'll try that later. God damn it, ABC7 making us watch a commercial before showing us the video. The fact that they're comparing this to ISIS, the fact that Antifa is possibly being trained in Syria, and the fact that this is normal now in our society is really bothersome to me. That human life, and specifically that of Trump supporters and law enforcement, are so devalued by the left that they applaud the violence, they applaud the carnage, and they applaud the death of Americans. And, this is no longer about politics.
No.
This is an absolute war on our way of life as Americans, the rule of law. You got COVID-19, which has been used to destroy capitalism, to usher in a new state of middle class. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Disparaging.
Yeah.
They just don't like. If I've said this before, politicians have become puppets to themselves when they are supposed to be puppets of their constituency.
Right.
Like when you go into public service, you don't get a fucking opinion anymore. Your opinion is supposed to be reflected of the people, the constituents in your area. If you're a town councilman, you don't get a vote. You do your best to represent the attitudes and belief systems of the people in your district. When you're a senator, same game. When you're a congressman, a senator, a mayor, it doesn't matter. Your job is to be beholden to your constituents. And every state's got them. Connecticut's got Rosa DeLauro. She's an absolute pile of crap. She likes to dress in like a knit Afghan with purple hair. Not that purple hair is a bad thing. It's cool. Not that dressing in an Afghan is weird. That's fine too. Like if you want to dress like you just gang raped grandma's attic, cool. Do that. But she's been out and made statements like, my goal is to represent gay and lesbians in my neighborhood. Now, that, or the gay and lesbian community, that in and of itself is not a bad thing.
No.
As long as those are the constituents of your area. Like, those are your voters. If you're in an area of, like, straight, white, ugly honkies, that's who you are. That's who elected you, and that's who you're supposed to be representing. Right, wrong, left or underneath. That's who hired you to do a specific job on their behest. Should there be, like, gay and lesbian senators, absolutely. But your job is to represent your demographic. New Hampshire hired a transgender Satanist something the other day. And Maine's got a dual soul transgender they them individual. If you are properly representing your constituents, I don't care what you order at Starbucks. I don't care where you pee. That's your job.
Listen to this. So this is from KTLA, Channel 5. The headline article is LA County Sheriff's Department's, plural, LA County Sheriff's Department's combative response to deputy attacks spark new alarms and criticism. And if we read down a little bit, it says, but the agency's response to the attack has raised alarms among some activists, lawmakers, and Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department watchdogs who question whether the aggressive rhetoric is inflaming rather than easing tensions at a moment when the community groups are protesting several controversial shootings by deputies amid national discussion over policing. Well, first of all, I don't think any of the shootings that are causing a front and alarm by these protesters and activists were done by deputies, and they sure as hell weren't done by LA County deputies. And so for them to criticize the aggressive verbal response from the sheriff's department, are they not supposed to be upset that two of their officers were gunned down in cold fucking blood in an ambush?
First off,
this is asinine.
This article just gave me palsy.
All of these articles give me palsy.
Like that's again asinine, absolutely friggin' asinine. You are supposed to stand there and take it. Like we have fallen into a mentality or a narrative, perhaps. I don't like that word because it's got too much BS connotations with it. But a narrative, for lack of a better term, of my way is right, your way is wrong, and you have to take whatever I do. You saw it in that Chad.
Listen to this. So it goes on further to complain about, within 24 hours of longtime Sheriff's Department spokesperson posted a tweet about the attack and that employed racist stereotypes in reference to a reward for information leading to the arrest of the shooter. So let me set this up. LA County Sheriff's Department put out a $100,000 reward. Okay, we already established that. It says in one post accompanied by a GIF of a black man shoveling bills, the spokesperson for the Sheriff's Department wrote, and here's the neighborhood homies and enemies about to come up on that $100,000 reward because $100,000 is $100,000. Is that racist? It's funny.
It's great.
It's funny. I can't believe the Sheriff's Department tweeted that. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if I can believe it. The fake news is everywhere.
Yeah,
but this is a local LA TV station. But they offered $100,000, and then the Sheriff's Department recently got in more hot water by challenging LeBron James to match the $100,000 reward. Now I don't know what LeBron had to say about that.
I think LeBron has become a caricature of himself. I think that he is forgotten his relevancy and where it comes from and how far it should how far it should reach. You bounce a ball on the ground. You're talented as hell and you can do it far better than I can, but you bounce a ball on the ground.
So they've got a $100,000 pledge from the county, two private donations, one of $50,000 and one of $25,000. So the current reward is $175,000 for information on the shooter. I'd give them up, but they asked James to match it and bring the dollar amount to $350,000. They said, we want to make a challenge. This challenge is to LeBron James. I want you to match and double that reward because I know you care about law enforcement. You expressed very interesting statement on race relations and officer-involved shootings and the impact it has on the African-American community, and I appreciate that. That was the message from the Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
And so I have not seen where LeBron has responded to this, but the media is just running apeshit with this story. So we've got cops that didn't have their guard up. They were not in condition red like they should have been. We have a bad guy that ambushes them and shoots them both in the face. We have a female officer that maintains situational awareness. She places a tourniquet on her partner, possibly saving his life, and she was also able to radio for help after being shot in the mouth twice. So that big ups to her. We have protesters chanting "We hope they die" at the hospital while they're being treated in the trauma unit. And then the next day or two, we have BLM or maybe some division of BLM or Antifa coming out and praising the shooters and comparing the shooter to ISIS. And that's really what we have here, is that your peaceful protesters are becoming ISIS. ISIS is gone, and the new ISIS is here.
Did you notice that? How quickly that paradigm became apparent?
Yeah.
Like, it really did. Now we've got kids that are, a year ago we praised the folks in Hong Kong for taking bow and arrows to incoming jackboots. And here we are a couple years later, or a year later, and here's where we're at. We have people that are absolutely losing their minds, anti-everything.
What really gets me is the left talks about hate, like how the right is so full of hate, and they want equality and love for everyone. But yet, what is a better example of hate than this particular case and everything that's happened since then?
When was the last time you saw somebody from quote-unquote our side at a hospital cheering, "You better die. I hope you die"?
Can you imagine what would happen if that happened? So, in other news, recently, matter of fact, today, the top communications official at the Department of Health and Human Services, his name is he's the Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Michael Caputo, and he had a live stream on his Facebook the other day. And he says in his Facebook live stream that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention was harboring a resistance unit to Trump. A resistance unit. That's the fist,
That's a good.
And let's see here. It gets better. He goes on to say that Trump supporters need to purchase guns and ammunition in his live stream. Guns and ammunition, because the left is planning a violent revolution if Trump is to be reelected. So you heard it here. Now, guess what? He's been asked to step down, and 2 Democrats have called for an investigation into what he said during his live stream, and they're already trying to discredit him, saying that he's mentally ill and blah blah blah.
He never should have used his platform to spread that racist hate.
He says, quote unquote, "When Donald Trump refuses to stand down at inauguration, the shooting will begin. If you carry guns, buy ammunition, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to be hard to get." Well, guess what? Joke's on you, Mr. Caputo. It's already hard to get. It's already hard to get. And why is it hard to get? Why is ammo so hard to get? Why is it so hard to get a red dot optic? Why is it so hard to get a stripped lower? Why is it so hard to get a Glock? Glocks are going on $800 on Gunbroker. 9mm ammo on Cheaper Than Dirt's like $1 a fucking round for Full Metal Jacket. The reason is because when all this shit started, months ago, when COVID started, when the riots started, everybody ran out and bought guns. But this time it wasn't us, right? It was first and foremost traditional liberal anti-gunners that saw on their TV screen, holy shit, the police aren't coming to save me, and I need a gun. So you have first-time gun buyers. There was like 3 million first-time gun buyers per month. Now, another thing we've seen, though, is not just first-time gun buyers, liberals going out and buying guns, but Antifa has been buying the shit out of guns. And the black community has been buying the shit out of guns for various reasons. The good blacks, the bad blacks, the good whites, the bad whites, everybody's buying guns. And so when you have 3 million guns sold per month for a 3-month run to first-time gun buyers, let's see, 3 times 3 is 9. That's 9 million guns sold.
That's a lot of zeros.
That's 9 million first-time gun buyers. And what does a first-time gun buyer also buy?
I got to go shoot this thing.
Yeah, well, I need some ammo. Who buys 1 box of ammo? So let's say every one of them bought 2 boxes of ammo. So that's 18 million boxes of ammo. Let me get my calculator out. Okay?
Mathing.
So let's do the math on that. If we got 18 million boxes of ammo, and let's say most boxes of ammo are either 20 or 50 round boxes. Right. So let's call it an average of 35 rounds per box. That is 8. Let's see. We got 9 million guns, right? 9 million guns times 2 boxes of ammo. That's 18 million times 35 rounds. Yeah, that's 630 million rounds of ammunition.
So how come we're out? We're America.
Right.
Yeah.
On top of that, you have Italy and Germany were shut down. The only places that primers are made in the world are basically one manufacturer here in the U.S. and the other ones are in Italy and Germany. So we have 2 months of shutdown over there. The primers from Italy and Germany are still not here yet. They're expected to land sometime in October. So the manufacturers have completely run out of primers. They can't make ammo even though they want to. They could make tons of money if they can, but nobody's making primers. So you've got that. You've got guns are scarce. You know, it's just an absolute, and it's only going to get worse as we get closer to the election. And the real bad news, folks, is that no matter who wins the election, it's going to get worse anyway. It's going to continue to be bad for a long time, and it's going to be something we have never seen in civilized society.
Not in this day and age at all.
No.
This is one of those things where, you know, it's when we fought the war for independence, you know, 2.5 to 3% of the population took up arms, and we won our independence. That's because 2 or 3% of the population had guns. Everybody had a hunting rifle. Everybody had a something, but not too many people went out and they were like, you know what? I have enough arms and ammunition to lodge a legitimate battle. Now we've got millions of rounds in circulation set. And now we have a command or a demand for even more. What are you smiling at? I love this face.
I'm sitting here looking at Google. I Googled officer shot and I clicked news. Officer involved shooting in Washtenaw County. That was 2 hours ago. Police standoff with alleged gunman after officer shot. That was 57 minutes ago, and that's in Superior, Michigan. Let's see. Police chase ends with shootout in St. Charles County Field. That was literally 2 blocks from my house the other night. You know,
I do remember that. That was good work by those.
Oh, you're talking about the one in the farm field.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was really good. Matter of fact, let's pull that video up. Well,
those officers ran right up on, like, that vehicle goes into the cornfield like it's going to get out.
Oh, yeah. So we are in St. Louis, Missouri, and we are in a county called St. Charles County. And so this is an interesting story. I'm going to try to find the video. It might take a second. Bear with me. We don't have a producer on this show, so we don't, you know, it's not like we come into this thing with a plan. You know, we just kind of do whatever. But anyway, so we live in St. Charles County, and a couple weeks ago, August 8th, as a matter of fact, there was a police pursuit that started near TacticalSht in St. Charles when some meth heads tried to break into a building. And the best part of this story is there was a tactical shithead there. All right. I've never told this story publicly. I really don't have the details I should have because it's still under investigation. However, a tactical shithead, somebody that shops in TacticalSht here in St. Louis, was in the building when these 2 meth heads broke in. And the one meth head, it was a guy and a girl. The one had a gun. It was an armed burglary. And they aimed it at the tactical shithead. Well, his gun was in his truck, right? Again, a lesson to be learned, right? In today's situation, you don't leave the fucking car without your gun. You don't leave the house without your gun. Matter of fact, take 2. It's time for truck guns, folks. If you're not rolling around with a truck gun right now, you're not at the right situation level.
You're not recognizing the reality.
So the meth head aims the gun at the tactical shithead, and he don't shoot me, and he goes like he's going to get in his truck and leave, but because he's a tactical shithead, That's not an acceptable solution. So he gets in his truck, gets his gun, and takes it and engages in a shootout with the meth heads in the lawn in front of the house. The meth heads jump in their car and they take off. St. Charles County Sheriff's Department is on them within minutes. This is out in a very rural farmland area. And so they chase him into a place called West Alton. So West Alton is right near the Mississippi River where St. Louis and Alton, Illinois come together. It's kind of a floodplain area. And the police, the guy decides to go off-roading, right, in his four-door car and drives through a cornfield. And as he's driving through the cornfield, he eventually stops, jumps out of the car with his gun, begins firing at the officers who are now advancing with AR-15s.
Which was brilliant.
Yeah, and he takes cover, as you should, behind the engine of the vehicle, and he's now firing at the law enforcement officers through the window of the car. Now, his female companion is still in the car. He's engaging through the windshield and shooting at the officers. The officers advance, fire a couple shots, striking homeboy in the face. Immediately, he ate windshield glass and went down. I'm still looking for the video. It's just amazing how quickly these officers were able to engage this guy through two, not just one window, but two vehicle windshields, or the back window and the front window, and were able to neutralize the threat, all while not shooting the woman that was in the passenger
inside
seat.
the vehicle, like instant threat down.
Absolutely. But the one close to my house the other night, and I live in another rural part of St. Charles County, a pursuit ended in St. Paul, and the bad guy jumps out of the car shooting at the police because that's the new thing, right? Every bad guy, every fucking traffic stop now ends in a shootout, and you wonder why cops are trigger happy, right? You wonder why cops are trigger happy. It's just absolutely insane. Let's see here.
Nope.
It's not it. The fact is, though, this guy gets out and he's shooting at the cops. The cops shoot him. They hit him. And he runs off into the woods. Into the woods towards my house, right, which is a bad idea.
Yeah, that's
My wife, we're getting ready to go to bed.
your day's not getting any better, buddy.
My wife says to me, hey, we need to lock down the house. There's an armed assailant wounded in the woods right up the hill. And so what do?
Open the back door and turn the lights on.
Like, no, I did one better. I turned all the lights off, threw my 50-32 Harris binoculars on, got my 300 blackout suppressed on a sling with my D-ball, and I went hunting. Cleared my property, cleared the detached garage, and then made sure everything was secure and my family was safe. And about that time, they were able to apprehend the suspect. And so, but that happened in a very rural area. Of St. Charles County. This is happening all over the country. And it's why it's so very important that, we carry every day, we carry everywhere, no matter what the sign says. And more importantly, we get training so that if the shit does hit the fan and we are forced to use deadly force during an encounter, that we, A, win, and B, win in the court that comes afterwards. Because you've seen what happens. Let's talk about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Articulation is everything. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Is there another way to do it? No. I did the best I could in the shit-ass situation I was in. I either won or I didn't. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here, so I won, so let's talk about it.
So, I mean, you've seen, if you're involved in a shooting, and it doesn't matter how fucking right you were, you're going to be raked through the coals. Your life is going to be at least temporarily over.
Clink.
You are going to be sued civilly. It's just an absolute mess.
Not enough people realize that yes, you may win in legal court, but there's still a high probability of losing in civil court. People that don't understand that need to look at a very, very real reality of the O.J. Simpson case. He was acquitted in criminal court and lost his shirt in civil court.
He also lost his glove.
He did lose his glove, and I think he lost some trophies as well. But
anyway, let me tell a story while Fat Dark Earth is working on the technical difficulties that we're having. So I want to give you an example of training that's meaningful and training where you actually take away
something,
an experience, and you learned something. Right? So was one of the first times I ever went to Tactical Disneyland down in Orlando, Florida, WOFT. And they put me through their shoot house. And it was scenario based. I was using UTM, so I had a Glock. They're like, "Hey, what kind of gun do you keep in your bedroom when you're sleeping at night?" I said a Glock 19, and they said, "Well, how many mags do you keep with it?" I said, "One, the one that's in it." And they say, "Well, how many rounds do you have in it?" I'm like, 15 plus 1. And so they give me a UTM Glock with 15 plus 1, and they say, "Where do you keep it?" I said, "Well, I keep it on the actually, I keep it on an armoire across the room, so I got at least a couple steps to wake the fuck up before I get my hands on the gun."
Wise decisions.
Right? Because you're not going to make real good. I don't keep the gun on the nightstand next to my bed because I'll end up shooting my wife, my dog, my kid, whatever. So I want to wake up a little bit. I keep it across the room on the armoire. In this situation in the shoot house, they had a bed, right? And they had a table. And so they put it across the room on the table. And I had to lay down in my UTM gear and pretend to be sleeping. And then something happens, right? And so I hear crash, crash, bang. I hear my daughter, a woman that was playing my daughter out in the living room, start screaming, "Daddy, daddy, daddy, someone's in the house." I get up. I grab my Glock 19 and I go to the door of the bedroom. And as I go to the door of the bedroom, I get immediately engaged by the bad guy that came in through the back door of the house in the hallway. He shoots me immediately in the left arm, forearm, right? So now this arm, because I'm going to play fair, this arm's no longer good. I'm using the door jamb as cover and engaging this guy, and I end up shooting him to the floor, right? And at that point, my gun goes to slide back. There's still one bad guy in the house, out in the living room. Daughter's screaming. I got a Glock 19 at lock. All right.
You got a hammer in your hand.
And and I said out loud, like, it was the first time ever in this situation. I said, "I'm out." And I thought to myself, wait a minute, they don't care.
Why did I just
say that? And so, but then my brain started working. I just shot that motherfucker. His gun's laying on the floor. So I throw my gun, grab his gun, and I go back to a point of cover. And then I started advancing down the hallway and engage in a firefight with guy number 2. In this particular firefight, I died. Got shot right in the fucking head. I shot the bad guy in the side, but it wasn't a kill shot. And but ever since then, the point I'm getting at is that was the difference between training and experience. Yes, it was an experience. It was fun. It hurt because UTM suck. But do I sleep with one mag now?
No,
Fuck
you
no.
don't.
Because in that training scenario, force on force, I learned that I like to pull the trigger. And this is predominantly why I typically don't carry my Staccato C anymore, because it only carries 8 bullets. Right now, in the current situation in the world, 8 bullets is not enough, because typically you're going to be going up against a crowd. And, if I put 2 in you, 2 in you, 2 in you, and 2 in you, I'm out.
Four friends is not enough dead friends.
Right. So in that situation, I learned something that actually changed the way I do things, so that now I've got just a itty bitty bit more of an edge on somebody that might be coming in my house. Because typically they're not going to come in your house by themselves. A friend of mine just had a burglary. 3 armed suspects. 3 armed suspects came in their house through the back door, came into their kitchen, stole his wife's purse from the kitchen counter, fortunately left the house. This is while him and his wife were upstairs sleeping with their 3 kids. And they didn't know that these people were in their house until the next morning when she saw the back door was open and her purse was gone. She watched her security cameras and she sees 3 black males with pistols out come into their house, take her purse, and then steal the Hellcat that was in the driveway. And guess what? The police later find the Hellcat, pursuit, and they end up shooting the bad guy because he shot at them. Because guess what? They're always shooting at you now.
It's one of those things where reality-based training finds the chinks in what we perceive as our defense.
Right.
We build our defense around a premeditated idea of what we're up against. Okay, I'm in a shitty neighborhood. Chances are good they're going to kick in my front door. I'm going to hear it. I'm going to respond with A, B, and C. But when you're allowed to test that, like at somewhere like Tactical Disneyland, you can really vet your process. You can vet your tactics.
And get humbled quickly.
Very.
Yeah.
One of the things that I hate about the industry is, like, everybody not everybody, I want to dial that back a little bit, but the majority of the industry has not evolved past the the dojo versus dojo mentality of like 1970s and 80s kung fu movies.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah. Like my school's
Way of the fist.
my kung fu will beat your kung fu. And like Pincus is terrible at it. Like my techniques are the best techniques. No other techniques. It's like, motherfucker, sit down. You are a great orator. You are excellent at breaking down your techniques and renaming old techniques and pretending you invented them.
Right.
He's good at it. Spec Ops guys are good at it. SEALs, they're good at it with Oakleys and great hair. There's a metric shit ton of instructors out there that are like, the system that I have invented that has never been involved in anything in the world before is the greatest techniques in the world. And it's like, situations dictate tactics. Tactics, like, your tactics don't dictate your situation. You're behind the 8 ball when a situation begins. So you have to choose what tactics are going to get you out of that situation. You've either learned them, trained them, or worked with them, or you're improvising on the fly.
Yeah. Typically, if you haven't been there before, it's not going to be easy.
No.
And that's why scenario-based training is so important, because you've been there. You know, it might have been scenario-based, but you were there. This has happened before.
Right. Your brain is building those neural pathways, and not enough people. It's muscle memory. It's like, I'll smack the shit
I'll tell you what. It's a strong flex, but you know what? I was saying something earlier that, I like training so much that I carry at least one dummy round in every magazine of my EDC. You know what? I want to have a malfunction when the shit hits the fan. Because you know what? That's what I've trained to do.
This is how I train.
Yeah.
Train how you
fight.
I want dummy rounds in there. I want to motor the shit out of this.
I let my wife load my magazine. Stick the dummy round wherever.
Wherever, baby. I don't want to
Just make sure it's not number 1. Huh?
Make it a surprise.
All right, we finally have the video up of the shooting that the police did in St. Charles County after the meth heads broke in and the tactical shithead engaged the threat, and the police got in pursuit. Let's click play and watch this thing real quick. So he's driving through the corn there. Maybe that's soybean.
I don't know what
door comes open.
This was going to happen.
Guns in hand. He falls down really nice there, and he gets up and he begins firing through the windshield with his passenger, and the cops are advancing. Right. Ooh!
That's not going to work. Let's see how this develops there.
Face.
Yeah. The passenger's like, I don't want none of this. Get me out of this car.
In the
Why are you
face.
shooting towards me?
Yeah. Just watch the officers, though, the way they were advancing. It's pretty smooth work. They had no cover whatsoever.
None.
So all they had was violence of action.
Yep.
And that's exactly
Commit.
what they brought. I guarantee you they were picking fucking windshield glass out of that guy's corpse.
Oh, he was not happy. Like, he was tasting glass. Safe light all over your face.
Safe light repair. Safe light replace.
Exactly. Like, that's all over his face.
Safe light is not a sponsor of Shots Fired.
But it's entertaining to know that they're out there. Those officers are literally running down a fixed area. Their lateral movement is extremely limited by the fact that they're inside this channel that's about the height of the vehicle.
Yep.
Maybe mirror height, but still, that's stuff you don't want to be tripping over. That's stuff you don't want to be caught up and tied up in and slowed down by. So they're moving. They take that arc. They come in on the shallow side of the arc. They start to engage. They move to the outside so that they know they've hit him. They know they've put him down. They move to the outside so that if he does pop back up, which he does not, because they did very, very well, he thinks that he's engaging at the last place they were and not the new place they are.
Right.
And not enough people recognize that shit either. Like, I love when people wear like a big brim hat, and then they do their reloads, and then they come back up, and it's like, well, now you're engaging where they used to be,
right?
Instead of addressing where they are, and guess what?
Yeah.
You're already behind the 8 ball, and you're not getting around the curve.
Never take your eyes off the threat.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh man, so much going on in the world. The world sucks now, but as tactical shit, and it's been our life.
Yes.
To
very much so.
Encourage people to arm themselves, to exercise their Second Amendment rights, to get the training, and to advance that training as far as they want to advance it. I've been doing training all my life, but when I first got into this industry, I just fell in love with competitive shooting. you know. And I did the USPSA, I did the IDPA, you know, with the fishing jacket.
Oh, yeah.
I did
511 Jacket of Doom.
Yeah, I did 3-gun, I did 2-gun, I did tactical 2-gun. And I had a ball doing it. I got trophies and I got all kinds of fun stuff. But then I started doing scenario-based training.
Changes your life.
It totally changes. You know, the cardboard doesn't shoot back. You know, the firearms competitions are good, and I encourage you to do them because you will
Test
get
your
muscle memory for reloads, muscle memory for
Keep saying that fucking word, dick.
what?
I'm just kidding.
Muscle memory?
Fuck, I hate
Sorry,
that
you
word.
hate that word?
I did.
All right. So, muscle.
Yeah, just habit. Just call it
whatever.
habit for now.
So you know, you get some things, and you also, the best thing that comes out of competitive shooting is you learn your equipment and where its weaknesses are. Because your gun will break. Your magazines will break. Your fancy Gucci bullshit will break. Your sling will break, and your gun will fall to the ground. And you're
running around looking like a yard sale.
You will improve your shit so that it works, so that you can make it through the end of a stage and make it through the end of a match without looking like an ass bag.
Do you know how Black Hawk started? Do you know that story?
Black Hawk?
Yeah.
You mean the company that was really cool at one point, then now they're in Walmart?
Now they're in Walmart.
Yeah.
So, I can't think of the gentleman's name. I've actually met him. But he was like running through he's under fire, running through a minefield in like Bosnia or something, and he's like, it's a yard sale. He's dropping shit all over the place, like it's just falling out of his gear. He doesn't care. He ain't stopping to pick it up, and he gets to the other side to hard cover, and he's like, "Dear God, get me out of this. I will never allow this to happen again." And like that was when he found the riggers on base and had them start sewing up things for him.
Right.
Life will test your shit. Competition allows us to test it early.
Yeah.
And in a
very safe environment.
In a very safe environment. Absolutely.
Although one of my guys almost got shot at an IDPA match the other day.
I can't watch some of those. Like I've gone to like 2 or 3 competitions. I've got thrown out of one because apparently like getting into a conversation or you're going to shoot him, and then you're going to come back and give everybody a headshot. Do you understand the stage? No, I want you to explain that to me one more time, please. You're going to shoot him, and then everybody gets a coup de grace. Or a coup d'etat. I'm like, you mean a coup de grace? No, a coup d'etat. You know, the headshot. I'm like, no, that's a coup de grace. No, it's coup d'etat. A coup de grace is a violent overthrow. Like that's a violent overthrow.
Coup d'etat is a violent overthrow.
Yeah, it's a violent overthrow of an oppressive government.
Mozambique is 2 to the chest, 1 to the head.
Right. He's like,
but
I'm like a coup de grace.
In some of these stupid competitions like IDPA, they're like, well, you gotta shoot this guy, then this guy, then this guy, then this headshot. And I'm like, dude, if I shoot this guy in the chest, his head's not gonna be there when I come back.
Right. There's a wobble.
There's somewhere he's moving. Right. But anyway, so you got to take competition rules with a grain of salt, and you have to realize that these shooting competitions, no matter what they are a game. Now, my favorite game is tactical 2-gun because those guys really do a good job of trying to implement stress and blind stages where you don't get to walk it 15 times and get a stage plan and all this stuff. And they make you use multiple weapons, and they make you think about where you got to shoot a guy, whether he's wearing armor or not, blah, blah, blah. It's about processing.
Good thinking.
Shoots and no shoots and hostages. One time I was shooting tactical 2-gun. And it was a blind stage, and I make it through the building, and I kill all the bad guys, and I get to the back, and you got to shoot a steel popper, and the steel popper pops up a target, right? And at the beginning of the deal, they showed us the type of targets we would engage. You had a regular cardboard target. That's a bad guy. If you had a regular cardboard target is nothing. A cardboard target with a Glock painted on it, that's a threat. You have to see the gun, shoot the guy, right? Or it could be a knife. Or it could be a hammer. They'd paint some sort of weapon on the cardboard. Or he'd be wearing armor, so the cardboard would be painted green, right? If he was wearing armor, you had to go for the headshot.
Right.
Or you had to shoot him in the chest 4 times. I think that was the rule. Some shit like that. Drive him to the fucking ground. So, and then there was another one where the thing would be wearing armor and had a badge on it. It's like, okay, that's a cop. Don't shoot him. That's a huge fucking penalty. So I get through the shoot house and I get to the end, and you go out the back door and it opens up into a yard. There's a steel popper, and you shoot the steel popper, and up comes the target, and it's wearing the green vest. And I don't see a badge. So I fucking drill this fucking guy 8 times in the face. And then they're like, good job, you just killed a cop. I'm like, what? And they fucking snuck in. The badge was down to the bottom of the target like he was a drug cop wearing it on his belt. And so my argument was, why was that fucking drug cop laying down in the backyard while I'm engaged in a firefight in the house? And why'd he jump up?
Why'd he jump up at me?
But anyway, so firearms competitions are great. They're fun. They teach you the basics of weapon manipulation, safety, reloading on the move, tactical reloads. You can get a lot of that. They teach you seeing the target, not necessarily your sights,
Right.
And moving and shooting, right? They teach you about cover, sometimes a little bit, ish. But it isn't until you start doing scenario-based training where the targets are shooting back at you,
right,
and screaming at you, and you start learning about adrenaline dumps, tunnel vision, auditory exclusion, my favorite fucking thing.
Fuck yeah.
It's when you start having that when it changes your fucking life, and that's why I still shoot competitions, but I only I try to shoot a couple big ones a year.
Yep.
Next year I plan on shooting USPSA Nationals, PCC, and 3-gun, and I'm going to train for like a couple weeks before I do it because I'm out of training right now.
There's no damn bullets to practice with.
Yeah, right. Well, hopefully by then things are back to normal. But according to many, we will be full-fledged insurgency, civil war bullshit by then. So we'll see.
We're gonna need some more of them BB guns.
Yeah. Speaking of that, this podcast is sponsored by the Crossman BB machine guns, which RW and I got to play with today. Crossman has, they are hard to get. They're selling out as fast as we can get them. But the Crossman has come out with 2 partnerships, one with DPMS. They've created the SBR, which is a AR-15 style, 14.5-inch Picatinny quad rail, backup flip up sights, and it's got blowback action, last round hold open, 25 round magazine, speed loader. You get about 8 magazines out of a CO2 cartridge, and you can control 3-shot bursts with the thing, and it's absolutely more fun than you can have with your clothes on.
Yeah, 1-to-1, like everything is, all the controls are where they're supposed to be. All the controls feel like they're supposed to. The gun's got some weight to it, so it's not like some plastic, Walmart airsoft gun. The thing was, it's got a place.
Yeah.
It's absolutely got a place.
Yeah, we just did a video today. That'll probably be out a couple days after this video, so you can look for that on the SIG Glock and Colt YouTube channel, since they took down our Tactical Shit YouTube channel and we didn't get it back. By the way, we're not on Facebook anymore. Facebook took down the Tactical Shit page with 900,000 followers about 2 weeks ago. We're still fighting to get it back, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen because they said, quote unquote, we publish terrorist content.
What the fuck?
So you can find us now on Parler, Parler. It's a new app, conservative run, but anything goes. It's backed by Ted Cruz. A lot of the gun community is moving over to Parler. Download that on the App Store. Find Tactical Shit. Find Sig Glock and Colt. Go to Instagram. Follow me, Sig Glock and Colt. It's there on the screen, right
in there somewhere.
And R.W. Higgins. Follow him if you want a different perspective on training and whatnot. And if you want to support RW's company, it's Whit Machine. Whit Machine has been a longtime sponsor of Tactical Shit and the Shots Fired podcast. Big time suppressor manufacturer. Just moved to Texas.
Oh man, we're already dating Texas. We're having a good time with those boys.
And so the Whit Machine, you guys are famous for making the ultra compact suppressors and then selling them for like $300 or $400.
Yeah,
$300,
$500 with a tax stamp get you your suppressor.
Yeah, $500 with a tax stamp, and it's like 1 or 2 dBs louder than a $3,000 cam.
Yeah, we're doing some like really, really amazing numbers with that stuff.
I'm waiting for my happy papers. I've got a Whit Machine. What do I have? I've got the Dirty 30. I've got the
9 mic.
The 9.
And a big body 223.
And a big body 223. Yep. Those are all sitting up at Ultimate Defense, and I'm waiting for the happy papers to come through. I think I did those back when COVID started.
Yeah.
So we're at about 6 months wait right now, and so I should be getting those papers anytime. But you guys
never
also
come fast enough. Why the hell does that take so goddamn long?
Right? Why can you buy a fake fucking suppressor and drill the holes in it yourself and get your papers in a fucking month? Manufacturing one that is an absolute piece of shit, but to get a decent one, you got to wait 6 months. It's just bureaucratic bullshit.
Or more. Like the wait times are so friggin' arbitrary too.
Yeah. So you guys, but you're not just doing suppressors. You do a lot of muzzle devices and whatnot. And the one that you're famous for right now is the SME, the sound mitigation equipment, the SME.
The SME.
You can also watch a video of that. I'll make sure they link it here in the podcast. It's an incredible non-NFA device that reduces the decibels at the shooter's ear to what I consider hearing safe. It's not actually hearing safe, but
right.
Let me put it this way. I shot a full auto 10.5 SBR with no ear pro and an SME, and I had no ringing after a 30-round mag dump.
And that's where these, like I tell people all the time, like, this is not a suppressor. It works excellent for what it is. It redirects the noise away from you. It's not perfect for every configuration. Like, I put on a 300 Win Mag. It was awesome. Like, I couldn't believe how good it did on a bolt action Win Mag. 16-inch AR-15, I'd shoot that outside all day long. I put it on an AR-15 16-inch upper and 7.62x39. Instantly fucking regretted it.
That 7.62x39 doesn't seem to decompress.
No, man, that sucked. But like 300 blackout, the 6.8, 6.5 Grendel, it does really good on that stuff. So, individual results may vary. Everybody's going to try something else. There are people that like hate stuff, but there's a lot of people that love that thing, and it does what we say it does to the event that we say it does. We are selling the absolute dog shit out of them.
So we're going to end the podcast now, but I want to give some thanks and I want to give some apologies. First, I want to apologize to all of our employees that lost their Facebook pages, because 2 weeks after Facebook took down our page, now when they took down Tactical Shit, they disabled my personal Facebook account with 5,000 friends and my wife's Facebook account with all the pictures of our kids and our trips and our family Christmases and stuff, all gone because we were the admins of the page. Now, if you know anything about Facebook, you could be an admin or you could be an editor, right? Editors are allowed to post stuff, but they don't own the page. Those fuckers at Facebook came back 2 weeks later, last week, and disabled every single editor that Tactical Shit Facebook page has ever had, including Dyna Death Milberg, Fat Dark Earth, Token Marcus, a.k.a. Vernell Dorn, Melissa Bales, head of our customer service department, Dave Harder, one of the guys on our retail sales team, Josh Murdoch, a former employee, used to do social media for us. Now he runs the backup page on Instagram.
Yep.
And like 3 or 4 other employees all lost their Facebook profiles. And then on top of that, I want to apologize to Jacqueline Carrizosa, Brojack. She was an editor on the Facebook page, and because of that, I believe they targeted her. They removed her 139,000 Facebook fan page and her personal profile. And Tony Pignato from STI, now known as Staccato, he also lost his personal Facebook and his business Facebook because of his association with Tactical Shit and Facebook's illegal election crime.
Yeah.
It's a federal crime to mess with media companies during an election, and we are a media company. And we plan to pursue that to the fullest. We have engaged attorneys, and we're going to do everything we can, although it is David and Goliath. I also want to thank Blackwater for sending me this awesome shirt. Check this shit out. It's the Portland Summer of Love shirt.
Oh, my.
And
oh, my.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Thank you, Blackwater. They sent me a really cool watch, too. Hey, Blackwater, send me ammo. Can you send me ammo?
I love that ammo. That ammo is, I shoot that my MPX almost exclusively.
Blackwater ammo, grind hard ammo. They're the number one ammos, and in my opinion, I can't wait for them to get primers because we will flow that shit to you as soon as we can get it. We do have 9mm coming in from a new imported source. I believe it's an Italian company, and it's brass. Bless you.
Thank you.
It's brass, 124 grain full metal jacket. We've got 100,000 rounds. I know it's not a lot, but it's coming in probably in about 2 weeks. If you want to know when we get the BB machine guns in stock, or the 9mm ammo, or stripped uppers, or bolt carriers, or whatever, the best thing for you to do is either go to our website at shop.tacticalshit.com. And there's a little pop-up up in the left corner of your browser that says, do you want to allow Tactical Shit to send you notifications? Click yes, and you will get notifications that are unintrusive on a daily basis if we get cool shit in stock, and you'll have the opportunity to buy it when it's there. Or if you like having your inbox molested on a daily basis, subscribe to the shit list and get the emails every day about the hottest new shit that we add to our inventory on a daily basis.
Your emails are like the only ones that like I get RSR, I get Primary Arms, I get Brownells, Midway, all that. Yours is like the only one I open on a regular basis because it's not boring.
Yeah.
Like your stuff is great.
The best one I ever heard, I was at the Texas 3-Gun Championship, and I walked up to a stage, and the stage guy, shooter ready, that guy, he's like, I love your emails. It's the spam I can't wait to open. Or no, he said it's the spam I can't wait to get.
Yeah.
And so we've gone with that. It is the spam you can't wait to get. And so to subscribe to that, you go to shop.tacticalsht.com, click on that allow button, scroll to the bottom, and then down at the bottom, join the shit list, and we'll abuse your inbox with some tactical goodness. Thanks for joining me today. It's been fun. We made some cool content. There's gonna be videos coming out over the next couple weeks. This podcast has probably gone way too fucking long, but this is Shots Fired, episode 48, with R.W. Higgins from Wit Machine, and we are
gone. Thank you, man.
See ya.
It's always fun.